Thank you, Dr. Fazl. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker today is Dr. S.M. Qureshi. He has led an inspirational career in education and engineering and technology, which is reflected in his academic achievements and outstanding services provided to the field of education in Pakistan. Currently, he is the chairman of the Charter Inspection and Evaluation Committee, Government of Sindh. He was the founder, director, and first vice-chancellor of Mehran University of Engineering and Technology, and he also held the post of secretary to the Government of Pakistan. Dr. Qureshi graduated from NED Engineering College, Karachi. He acquired his master's in engineering from Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, and obtained his PhD from the University of Sheffield in the United Kingdom. Dr. Qureshi has won many awards for his services, including a gold medal by the Governor of Sindh in 1992 and a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Pakistan Engineering Council. Sir, it is a great honor for SZABIST to have you with us as our keynote speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Dr. Qureshi so that he can share his knowledge and experiences that will guide the future of our graduates. Dr. Shamsuddin Qureshi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Madam Chancellor, distinguished members of the Board of Governors and Boards of Trustees, learned President and faculty members, dear graduating students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I feel greatly honored to have been invited for a keynote address to this august gathering on this solemn occasion. It will be a milestone in the career and life of all those who would be graduating today, and a joyful event not only for them but also for their parents and the faculty members who will be getting great satisfaction of their effort to bring their voice to this level today. I therefore wish to congratulate them all and the SZABIST community as a whole on this occasion. To the graduating students, I wish to say that it provides them an opportunity to go into the field and serve the society, making the best use of what they have learned and have been trained for in this renowned institution. They have to take a great pride of having been trained in SZABIST and prove themselves worth of its name as its good ambassadors. Ladies and gentlemen, this occasion reminds me of an event of University of Sindh, Jamshoro, in 1966-67, which was addressed by two great people. They were Shaheed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and late Allama Qazi, the then Vice Chancellor of the University of Sindh. Mr. Bhutto spoke on the subject of confrontation, and Allama Sahab spoke on the subject of science and technology and its importance in those days. The subject, which is of course of great importance to us all and has been already deliberated upon in somewhat brief way by the Honorable Chancellor herself, and it is part of the name of your great institution. The name of Mr. Bhutto and the word science and technology, in fact, have always inspired me throughout my career. Why this institution was established with this name has its own background, and I will not elaborate because of the shortage of time on this issue as to how much I personally have been involved and have contributions to very basic conceptualization and establishment of this institution. I therefore wish you all, the graduating students, the best of the career, and every member of the SZABIST community a best of life. However, I would elaborate a little on what Mr. Bhutto said under confrontation and what Allama Sahab had said under the word science and technology, and then I will be taking your more time before you are able to receive your degrees on the same subject and dilate upon how we have moved in the development of science and technology in this country of ours, Pakistan. In his message on confrontation, Mr. Bhutto, let me say first this, that both these speeches made were highly philosophical. They are still record speeches in the history of University of Sindh and the events and the convocations it has held. These were so philosophical that many of people were not able to grasp their essence. Whatever little bit I grasp, I am going to mention in very brief and nutshell. Mr. Bhutto, when he talked about confrontation, he was covering all different political, economical, social aspects of life. And the crux of his message was to confront, to fight whatever you consider is wrong. And do not waste time. It is right at that moment that you should cease to confront that wrong that is to be done. Allama Qazi explained that since creation, man had started using science and technology and invented different techniques for his sustenance and survival. So he considered that man has been right from birth a scientist and technologist. He said that even birds and animals had that sense of direction. He quoted especially crow. He said this bird is a big scientist because he knows that when he feels pain in his stomach, he starts drinking more water. He runs to the sources of water. And he is able to snatch food from bigger birds flying in the air. He teases them, and they leave the food from their tongues, and then he catches them, knowing that those other birds would not be able to fly at that level at which he could fly. He said that this is a process, and for this we Muslims have been already told, given this message through Quran, Afala tatafakkarun. We must keep thinking. And he says science and technology is nothing, but it is a thought process which invents laws of nature, which when we put in practice, we develop technology and produce goods, do business and establish enterprises. But he was very critical about the misuse of these tools and emphasized a great deal on the moral use of these tools. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll therefore now briefly touch upon this subject in the context of how we have developed these tools in Pakistan and their growing importance and scope for our welfare and security. It was during the middle of the last century that the developing countries recognized this, that the North, which is named after the developed world, had scientific and technological strength. The South, means the developing world, did not. If the South was to catch up, it too must acquire or develop this missing ingredient. It was around this time that some countries of South Asia got independence, which included Pakistan. But against India, it inherited very meager infrastructure of higher education, research and industry. These included only one university, University of the Punjab. The University of Sindh was established a little later after we got independence. There are only 4 research and development laboratories and a few industrial units containing very primitive technology. Hence, the scientific and technological structure had to be developed from scratch. This urgent need was realized by no one other than the founder of Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who in his speeches to business and industrial community in September 1947 and November 47 gave in fact a first policy guideline as to how science and technology should develop in our country. I'll quote, "If Pakistan is to play its proper role in the world to which its size, manpower and resources entitle it, it must develop industrial potential side by side with its agriculture and give its economy an industrial bias. By industrializing our state, we shall decrease our dependence on the outside world for necessities of life. We will give more employment to our people and will also increase the resources of the state." Unquote. This was in September 1947. Then, in November 1947, he said, I quote, "There is immediate and urgent need for training our people in the scientific and technical education in order to build up future economic life. And we should see that our people undertake commerce, trade, and particularly well-planned industries. But do not forget that we have to compete with the world, which is moving very fast in the direction of scientific and technological development. Unfortunately, however, the country soon after passed through different periods of checkered political history and the type of leadership, inconsistent and disjointed policies and different sets of priorities which influence the promotion of science and technology and socio-economic development of the country. Nevertheless, it was observed that the scientific and technological effort progressed during some periods of political stability and some enlightened leadership. The second policy guideline came through National Science Commission 1960 and more through conferences and important meetings that followed, like those very famous meetings at Sedu Sharif. But no big breakthrough was made. However, ladies and gentlemen, a major step in this direction was taken by no one else but our leader Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, when in the wake of building New Pakistan, as he called it, he wished to establish the infrastructure of education and science and technology for rapid socio-economic development and security, and to stand shoulder to shoulder among the Committee of Nations. He gave new education policy in 1972, which is still considered to be the best education policy of the country, and established Ministry of Science and Technology in 1972, under which it established institutions like University Grants Commission, which is now HEC, and Pakistan Science Foundation to promote higher education and research. He also transformed engineering and agriculture colleges into universities of engineering, technology, and agriculture to boost both agriculture and industrial research, to contribute to the two streams of economy. And there were many other policy initiatives taken and institutions established, one after the other, to support this effort. I may tell you that these were the days when I was working in the Ministry of Science and Technology under his guidance. And what we used to say that we were running around, we did not walk. He made us to run, to establish this, to establish that, and we're not walking. But unfortunately, no further improvement or of any significance has ever been made to this structure since those times. And when the nation's attention was diverted after 1974 Pokhran nuclear experiment by India, he planned two-pronged approach to boost education in science and technology and also go nuclear, not only to ensure the defense of the boundaries and security of people of his new Pakistan, but build this country socio-economically to sustain that nuclear program. We drafted in those days the first ever science and technology policy in 1975. Before, in fact, I came as founder vice chancellor of Mehran University. But the policy became victim of 1977 martial law government and was approved by the cabinet only in 1984 in much diluted form, but leaving some institutional structure that we had proposed, which envisaged establishment of institutions like National Commission of Science and Technology or Pakistan Council for Science and Technology. And also, we had proposed to establish science and technology departments in all the provinces to look after the scientific and technological development in the provinces. But you will wonder that it was only in 1989 that the first ever meeting of the National Commission of Science and Technology was held under the chairmanship of our another great and enlightened leader, Shahid Mohtaram Benazir Bhutto. The following governments did not give the attention to the development of these sectors to achieve any much required rapid socio-economic development, except for the nuclear program to be continued, which had become the lifeline and could not be given up. All economic policies, including agriculture and industrial policy, remain devoid of vision, consensus of all stakeholders, and other factors. These were over-protectionists, supporting turnkey-based imports of technology, which did not let indigenous scientific and technological development take place. And by the end of the last century, when I was given the opportunity to assess the scientific and technological development throughout the history of Pakistan, I only wrote this, that unfortunately, the advantage of tools of science and technology for the development could not be grasped fully by Pakistan, unlike some other countries of South Asia in those years. A new initiative was taken in 2002 with Ministry of Science and Technology reorganization and establishment of Information Technology Ministry and HEC, which was also in fact the outcome of the second meeting of the National Commission of Science and Technology, of which I happen to be personally, as Chairman of Pakistan Council for Science and Technology, Secretary to the Commission. And because I personally was connected with the periods of Mr. Bhutto and Mohtarama Sayyid Benazir Bhutto, that I had urged that I should carry the flag, and it was the working paper and agenda of the National Commission on Science Technology second meeting that I prepared, and I urged upon that government to dole out at least 15 billion rupees for the development of human resource, science and technology, and other infrastructure for the socio-economic development. Unfortunately, however, science and technology, doing of science and technology being very difficult, it became very easy to look after only the human resource development, and then all the stalwarts who were working and trying to promote those ideas, they diverted their 100% attention to only human resource development and establishment of HEC, but actually the doing of science and technology was forgotten. Today, when we look back, it is the same science and technology structure established in the early 70s by Mr. Bhutto that exists. But it is enough structure which can be utilized very well for the future development. Ladies and gentlemen, we often ponder as to why our developing countries have not been able to take off in the field of science and technology. Some reasons I have given you, that enlightened leadership, the commitment, the political will, which brings in automatically funds and other resources. But there are some inherent factors to which our developing countries have not given much attention. And perhaps if we had continued with the initiative of 1972, we would have given that attention. And perhaps now we are personally, I am for instance, in my own way, whatever is possible, giving attention to filling up those gaps. I may inform you that one major reason that has been now realized is that in the most developing countries, we have borrowed different models which when put together do not work, because we have not known about some missing links that must come in and be fitted in so that the whole machine starts working. For example, one such missing link has been the building of capacity, or the institutions to build the capacity to understand as to exactly what we need to do in the field of science and technology. What would be our goals and targets? How do we match with the development outside in the rest of the world, especially the influence of the development of these tools in the developed world? We have to have those institutions which are to give us the knowledge-based judgment or decision-making as to what we should do in the field of science and technology. I remember at this moment a UNESCO observation would say that in developed world, if $1 is spent on research, then $100 are spent on utilization of research results. That adds about $1,000 to the economy. But there was a strong lesson that if you don't have $100 to utilize that research that you have output, do not misuse that $1, because that will be simply misused. Now these are various things that we perhaps have to consider and see that we establish those institutional systems and establish those think tanks which give us direction, which tell us from time to time. The fast development of the developed countries or advanced countries is so much pressurizing us that we have to see as to what we have to do indigenously. However, I do not want to frighten you, but would like to inform you so that you can have a resolve, you can roll your sleeves, whether you are working in education institutions like SZABIST, where you must promote research and development and enhance the productivity in different sectors of economy. But it is important for you to know that the recent Global Competitive Index report of 2009 and 2010 of World Economic Forum has ranked Pakistan at the level of 101 in comparison to China at 29, India at 49, Malaysia at 24, and even Turkey at 61, and Indonesia at 54, while Taiwan is at 12 and Singapore is at 3. Similarly, in higher education, we are at number 118 as against 66 of India, 16 of Korea, and 13 of Taiwan, 41 of Malaysia. The investment that we make now in our research and development in science and technology is 0.15% as against 2 to 3% of GNP in the advanced countries. The Human Development Index, if you have read the paper maybe 3-4 days ago, Daily Dawn, you might have come across a report which tells you that HDI of Pakistan puts us at number 125, which tells us the quality of people, our society we are, and sets a goal and the amount of effort we have to put in to come to a more respectable worldwide level. Ladies and gentlemen, with these conditions prevailing, however, in order to address the situation presently, a new draft plan is being developed by the government of Pakistan for the development of science and technology, which is being given the name as Knowledge and Technology-Based Development. Knowledge and Technology-Based Development, which is going to consider many aspects, but it is viewed that unless education in its holistic perspective, both lower or higher, and science and technology in its all components is given attention for rapid and sustainable socio-economic development at priority level, At priority level, which was given to the nuclear program, we shall not be able to make any progress and succeed. This is to the graduating students, has great many challenges. We have seen and are passing through IT revolution, and we are taking you along. What more exciting will happen in your lifetime, we don't know. Will you become part of any such revolution or only sustain its outcome? Pakistan must share the scientific and technological discoveries and innovations with the rest of the world. And it is you who have to contribute to this. Unfortunately, the fast development of science and technology in the developed world and our trust for only consuming its dividends will not let us progress. We have to turn our back to it and develop ourselves indigenously, as has been done by China, Taiwan, Thailand, or Malaysia. We must start thinking and generating more resources by increasing industrial and agricultural productivity, and similarly help services sector to grow. We must resolve to confront what is wrong in every walk of life and utilize the resources available in the best possible manner and work hard. Unfortunately, the developing countries like Pakistan are always at crossroads, and often important decisions and forecasts for them are difficult. But there is no better solution than self-reliance. These are our and your challenges, and you have to roll your sleeves while you put your feet in the practical life. I wish you Godspeed. In the end, I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate once again the entire SZABIST community for maintaining its high standard of education and contributing more and more to the human resource development of the country. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.